Mulholland Drive is a cult classic film. It has this beautifully intricate storyline that twists mystery and romance and leaves you questioning everything. Then, by the last half hour of the film, you get your answer. One that in a lot of other films would ruin the movie. But here, it only works on Mulholland's side. And that answer is, it was all just a dream. The structure of this story is broken up into two very distinct sections. The first 2 hours, where we follow the romantic story of Betty and Rita, the dream versions of ex-lovers, Diane and Camilla, we follow in the last 30 minutes. The entire dream section is a variation of Diane's real life. The constants are the people, however they change their relationship to Diane between sections. Every person in her real life, despite their opinions of her or their actual interactions, seems to love and support her in her fantasy world, which is a stark contrast to the real Diane, failing in her career and left behind by the love of her life. This could also be connected to the idea of mise en abîme. Diane has fabricated this story within her life as a way to fulfill her desires. David Lynch is known for his mastery of liminal spaces and liminality in his films, and he used that in Mulholland Drive. We start to notice aspects of reality that leak into Diane's dream, objects and references that when thought about more after your first watch, start to show themselves for what they really are, hints that we are stuck between these spaces of reality and fiction. These hints get more and more apparent towards the second half of the film, right before we cross the threshold into the reality of Diane's life. In most films, if you wanted to portray a dreamlike scene, you would make time flow oddly, scenes skip around, continuity ignored. Overall, it would be more inconsistent, whereas reality would be shown in a more continuity-conscious way. However, when we were talking about Mulholland Drive, David Lynch, Mary Sweeney, and her team of editors did the exact opposite. David Lynch wanted us to feel grounded in the first part of the film. We needed to feel comfortable, so we could be as invested in the fantasy as Diane was, while the second part of the film needed to feel chaotic and broken, just as Diane felt in her real life. The first section of the film keeps temporal continuity, while we are led through what feels like the reality of the film, but turns out to be the dream. However, the second section of the film, what we know to be true reality, jumps back and forth between the present and the actions leading up to the gruesome ending. This jumping often uses elliptical cuts. We have no way to be sure of how long it has taken for Diane's life to fall apart as much as it has. We see events leading up to her breakdown at the end of the film, but we have no clue if this has been months or even years in the making. Mulholland Drive is a cult classic, and I think it deserves that kind of attention. David Lynch and his team made some very interesting decisions and utilized so many interesting editing and structural techniques that set this film on its own level. The difference between dream and reality is such an interesting topic to explore in film because at the end of the day, it's all fiction. However, the way this story of desires, failure, and desperation portrayed itself in the second section makes it feel so utterly and uncomfortably realistic, making us all wish so badly that the dream world of the first half was reality, just as Diane did.